Thank you, Rusty Moose, for sponsoring this video. Check out Rusty Moose, my favorite server. Why would you want to build this base? Why would you want to build this base? There's so many different bases out there. Why would you want to build this base? Well, for just about 16,000 metal, you can have a base that is so unappealing to raid, no one's gonna raid you unless you really piss someone off. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is a pretty small base. You know, this is a pretty small base, easily buildable by a solo player in a day. Easy, easy. So just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here, I opened up each corner so you can see where my loot rooms are. This is what would happen if you were to spray 8 rockets in each corner. I left the foundation so you can see the loot boxes, otherwise the loot would just be on the floor. But if you were to 8 rocket each corner, this is what it would look like when it's open. So I have my loot either inside the roofs or just under the roofs. If it's just under the roofs, it's only 8 rockets. If it's inside the roofs, that's me 16 rockets from the outside. Or if it's armored, that's an additional 16 on top of the original 8. So I have each loot room perfectly spaced away from each other. That way they can't be rocket splashed. And it's using the bunker method on all 4 corners. And that's what truly makes this base overpowered. But I'm sure this will be patched soon because this is pretty unfair right now. Raiding a base like this is just not worth it. Right now, it's just not worth it.
Oh yeah, easy raid. Just get the tool cupboard, then you got all the roofs.
Well, not so fast there, young troll. You still need to go through 1, 2, 3 armored doors, 1 armored wall. That'll probably splash you up if you're using rockets. We'll give you that one. And that's still 1, 2, 3, 4 armored doors before even being able to build in here. Now you can get in. So let's take a look around. We'll give you guys a tour real quick and see what you guys think. Base tour with KC. All right, so let's start with the starter base. Any good base, you build around your starter base. You have something to start in. You don't have to build a separate base. Just build off the starter base and you're good to go. So let's take a look around real quick. You'll notice this is similar to that 2x2 I did a while ago for you guys. Got the single door, double door airlock. And if you're unfamiliar with this, you can't go through unless someone else jumps in your head. It takes them a while, but it should give you enough time to pop in their face when they're trying to do that shit. But that's why as soon as you can, you put that second door on. Couple furnaces, all you need is starting off. Got your workbench tier 1, extra spare box there. And this is where your main loot goes, only 2 boxes, but that's okay because we're mainly just trying to protect our tool cupboard. So that's what this is doing right here. And actually, if anyone else tries to access this, let me deauthorize on this and show you what happens here. So basically what happened there was the shotgun turret breaks the twig and that closes up the gap here. And all you have to do to open up that gap there again, just place that, the twig roof, and then it opens up that wall again. And we got our TC back there. And that's why we have this roof here, is because we really want to protect our TC. We can access it just right there. A couple boxes. This one's popping out, but actually you can put a code lock on there, and then if they were to destroy it, all the contents would just fall into here and they wouldn't be able to loot it. And I just have an extra box here sitting on some stairs. You can place the stairs through the box pretty easy. So just to show you the mechanic here of what's going on with the roof. So you can hide stuff in here, and all you have to do to open up this little gap here is that. Bam, easy. And that pops open. If you metal this, that's 8 rockets for barely any resources. 8 rockets to get in here. So the problem that a lot of people were having is you can't place a wall here anymore. They fixed that. So what I see a lot of people doing now is a few different things. You can do this, and you can cover it up like this. Or I've seen a lot of people doing this, where they attach the roof to the outside foundation like this. And they have this armored, super strong 16 rocket to get in the vault, you know, pop open to here, and then you got 4 loot boxes or whatever. But the problem with this is all you have to do is tap that foundation out, and now this is all open. Then you just go through 2 doors, and then you got their whole entire loot. So don't do this. If you notice here, the way I have it, it's flush. See that? And there's actually a couple ways you can do this. And there's strengths and weaknesses, and I'll go over that here shortly with you guys. But the way that I did this one, It's fairly simple. So this base I've actually been working on for a long time with my friend Monsieur Alpha. You guys have seen different versions of it in the past. And this method I'm doing right here, I was trying to figure out what to do to get rid of the honeycomb on the outside, and Monsieur Alpha actually came up with this method. So now we don't even need to spend the extra stone for the outer honeycomb. We can just build from the back of the roof, and it saves us a lot of resources, and it looks much cleaner. So with the new stability, you can now do this. See that? So basically, this wall is attached to this wall, and that's what's giving it stability. And now I can place roofs here like so. You want to metal this up as soon as you can. That way you can get that 8 rocket raid, and then the rest of it can just be stone. All right, let's do this. Main tour around the main base, the fully finished base. Sheet metal will be your desired resource to build your base out of, since it's the strongest. 8 rocks to get through a wall. And you'll notice here, this is actually the starter base that you guys are just looking around in right here. And the main base is just built right around it. Armor this instead of sheet metal if you have the resources for it. That'll make your tool cupboard quite a bit more expensive to raid, and you're gonna want that because that's gonna be the main thing that you wanna protect since they need building access to easily get into the loot rooms. So that's what that looks like there. A couple more doors here, so it's 3 doors and then an armored wall just to get the TC, and that's without getting any loot. All right, and just going up the ladder hatch here. And you don't need the roof like this. I just put it on here just to cap it off. I'll show you guys a couple different variations. So if you do want roof access, which I highly recommend, you can still have roof access and you can still shoot people when you're being raided or when people are trying to door camp you and that sort of stuff. But we'll go over that a little bit later. So just continuing the tour here, you can put this stuff wherever you want. This is just how I have it. Tier 3 workbench there. 4 furnaces, normally enough for me. I'm actually a huge fan of lockers. I always use those. And of course your repair bench. So I have a few different variations of the loot rooms. I'm going to go over all 4. I have each one on all 4 sides. We got 4 loot rooms here. So this is one of the variations. This is the strongest one. It's also the smallest. You won't get as many loot boxes here. I was able to fit 2 large boxes and 3 small boxes. I used armor for this, which is surprisingly pretty inexpensive. It's about the same cost as an AK to do that. So that's the first one. Also, keep in mind you can use either double doors or single doors, depending on your preference. So if you want better range of motion, double doors is a better option, but they are a little bit more expensive. If you want to save the resources, then a single door is just fine. So here's the other variation of the loot room. Take a look inside. Notice when the doors are open, you can't get in. So a potential raider would have no option but to break this. When they do, they can't get in. And we got the shotgun turret there too, just in case. But let's take a look in this one. So you can have an open space down here for a little extra storage space. So that's 6 boxes and 2 small boxes. If you don't feel like you need that much, you can do something more like this where you have 4 boxes open and exposed. So these are less protected, but then you got the more protected ones in here inside the vault. So you get 4 there and 4 there. And then if you need even more room than that, you can do something like this. This is sheet metal, but when you have the resources, just make sure you armor that door if you have the blueprint. But if you need some more storage space, this also works pretty well. And you can put whatever you want here. I kind of made this into a little bedroom. So put my tier 2 down here. But you can make this into another loot room. You can make it into a bedroom. You can make it into a furnace room, whatever you want. And it's boxed in by sheet metal. So 8 rockets to get into that room there. And those are all 4 of the different variations. So one other thing that I wanted to point out about this one, it really does limit your space. But the nice thing about it is if you were to raid from the outside, doesn't matter which angle, you're gonna have to go through 1 sheet metal and you're gonna have to go through the roof as well. So just to show you what I'm talking about, if you go from the top, obviously the roof is there. If you go from the side, the roof is still there. And if you go from this side, roof is still there. And then from this side, you just go through the door and then you'd have to go up through the armor just to get that 1 loot room. So I just wanted to show you guys some different variations so you can choose which loot room fits your building style and the way that you want to live. If you want more mobility, if you want more security, or if you just want more space in there, if you need more boxes, then just pick whichever one that you prefer that fits your play style. Okay, so one thing that I want you guys to think about when you're deciding on which of these style of loot rooms that you're going to be using is you have to keep in mind that people will watch this video and they'll know the different styles, and it's possible they could raid through the corners right here. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If we were to raid in the corner right here, okay, so they gain access to this loot room and this loot room. So if you use these open style loot rooms, like this is the one that this one was. This was this one, where it sections off the two. Just keep in mind that this is a possibility. They can reach both of them. But the strongest way would be to make sure that you only have one loot room in each corner. So basically what I mean by that is you only have a loot room right here, right here, right here, and right here. And you can't access the other loot rooms from both sides. So like this, for example. See, this loot room, you can access from both sides. So basically what that means is I can see the loot room from here and here, right? Compared to this one, right there and right there. See, if I were to rocket, I can't even get into the loot room. So do you see why this is the most powerful out of all of them? You get some more room with these ones. So if you need more room, then that's fine. That's fine. That's why I gave you the option. But it's not going to be as strong as this one. So here's an example of a stronger one. This one, I'm not using the strongest, but this is the one where I have the two loot rooms separated like that. So if I were to raid the corner right here, like I was showing you, see now we only gain access to one of the loot rooms. There's no loot right there. The loot's all the way over here. So as long as your loot is separated far enough so you can't get two loot rooms for the same rockets, then you should be fine. Unless you need the extra room, then you can do it. I guess an easy way that you can protect this from being splashed is you could just simply go like this and just honeycomb it like that. So this would be one way to protect your loot rooms from splash from rockets, and this is only 600 metal. So it just depends. It depends on your build style, and if you want more room, if you want to spend a little extra to protect your double loot room, then you could do this. So, options. That's what you need in bases, is options. So pick your poison. So if this is kind of over your head and you're not really too sure which one you want to build because you don't understand the whole rocket splash mechanics, I'll just tell you, just build this loot room or build this loot room. And then you don't have to worry about any of that. Just pick one of those two. They're both good. This one's stronger, though.
Roof camping?
Okay, so you could do something as simple as this. This is probably what I would do. Just something like this. So like this is the top right here. And then you got your ladder hatch. You got the double door airlock. I put 2 doors, though, just to add some extra protection. But you don't need anything too special. I mean, you could just do something like this. And it could even just be wood, too. And this is not something that you'd fight the heli with, but it would keep door campers away. You do have a blind spot, which is right here, and that's why I have the spikes right there. You can't be seen from there, but if you have the spikes, then that'll prevent them from hiding the blind spots, and they can be shot from right there and right there. So this is one thing you could do. If you want a little higher, you could make it a little higher. And let me show you a little trick real quick. Let me show you a little trick. Okay, so here's something I learned on accident. So check this out. See that? There's 2 different sockets there, and the one that you want is this one. It's a little closer. So take that one. You can upgrade that now. And now we'll go back. There we go. See that? Switching back and forth. Get the one that's closer. All right, and I'll show you what that does here. You guys are gonna like this. All right, check this out. And you can actually shoot through it. See that? And it even works if you stone it up, see? So you can stone this up if you don't want it just to be wood. So you have this for, you know, mid-range, long-range sort of stuff. You can shoot them when they're, you know, not too close to the base, but, and then you would have this, so when they're a little closer to the base, then you can spray them down with that. So just to be clear though, roof camping is kind of a dirty thing to do. So if there's like someone way out there and you're shooting at them and you don't even plan to loot them, don't be a fucking dick, man. Don't do that shit. But if you do have people that are around your base and you're fighting them, then sure, yeah, use this because people shouldn't be coming over to your base and to your territory. You need to assert your dominance. You know, if there's a group of 6 guys running like this and they're just passing your base, yeah, fucking spray them down, dude. Hell yeah. But if there's some dude over here farming wood, you know, they're farming wood, farming nodes or whatever, don't freaking shoot him, man. Leave that dude alone. And if you want something more simple, if you don't like going on your roof, if you just want it closed, if you're a hermit and you don't like, and you just want to use this base for just storing loot and not even really functioning out of this base, you could just do something like this, as simple as just roofs on the top. You know, you can use this extra space here. You can use this for, you know, loot rooms or whatever you want. You could even add like extra compartments up there, and you can even put like a door up here, and then now you got like a little secret, you know, room or whatever. I guess it's not very secret, but you know, just some extra storage space, and it's locked away. So if they come out from the top, they have to go through, you know, an extra layer here. You might want to metal that. And then if they come from the bottom, I don't even think they would go through that, to be honest. I mean, I guess if they're, you know, rocketing this or something, it'll splash, but, you know, just an option, If you don't want to use this, if you don't think you'll use this, then, you know, you can just metal it off like that. If you use this method, then you can even just add walls right here just to, you know, add extra honeycomb. So if they do rocket right here, you know, say they do like right here, or even from the top or whatever, you know, let's go like this. You know, then there's the extra wall right here, and they didn't really get through much. So I'll have to rocket again, bam, 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 and then now they're in this, 16 rockets. So just a couple examples, you know, you guys can use whatever you want for your play style. Building a base with KCmo. So I just wanted to show this real quick. I built on a pretty flat spot, so I was able to raise the foundations. But if you can't do this, you can still build this way. You just have to use the half walls to emulate a raised foundation, just like this. So there it is, base design. You guys have been asking for it for a long time. I hope you guys like this one. Hopefully I didn't complicate things too much. If you guys have any questions, best way to reach me is on my Discord. Link is in the description. And if you guys learn at least one thing in this video, maybe like the video. Maybe.